Hi, crafty friends, it's Diane, the Creative Inkster, and in today's video, I'm going to show you how I clean my stamps, both cling stamps and the photopolymer ones. So let's flip the camera down and get started. When you first start out as a stamper, you're going to be getting a variety of different stamps, I'm sure. These are photopolymer. They say that on the stamp case at the top, and they're clear, basically see-through stamps. Something to note is that after you've used them a few times, they will take on a color and be stained. They're not dirty anymore, but they do take on a color. So it happens, they tend to end up being pinky red. Just get righteous with it. Okay, so photopolymer ones, as you can tell, I've used this one a lot and not necessarily with reds. And we can do a couple of different ways. So let's do a couple of stamped images and we'll talk about the different ways to clean your stamps. So I'm just inking this guy up and I think I'll just do it this way. There we go. It's a beautiful red rocking chair. We'll leave the stamp there for just a moment. And with these inks, we are using the Stampin' Up regular classic inks. When you're using something like StazOn, you'll be using a completely different cleaner, and I'm not covering that in this video. So this is for Memento or the classic inks. All right, let's close that up. And these are our stamped images, which I'll use for something. And now we have a couple of dirty stamps. So when people first start out and they're building their supplies, we often go to something like baby wipes to use with your craft supplies. And that's totally fine. It's not sustainable because you have to replace them a lot. And so it's not my long-term choice. But if I'm on the go or I'm at an event, sometimes this is the easiest way when it's a large event to get the stamps cleaned. Long-term, not so great, especially for your red rubber stamps. And by red rubber, I mean these are the ones called cling stamps. They say that at the top of the stamp set, and they will have a red rubber piece that the stamp is made out of with a cushion. Very different from the photopolymer, which are like see-through. All right, so for your photopolymer, I highly recommend the Stampin' Chamois. It is normally this lovely purpley color, but over time, with using with various inks, this is what happens to it. It gets dark, dark, dark from lots of different colors used in the middle. You can rinse this out. In fact, it comes damp in a plastic bag, but it's not a resealable bag. And so you might want to get a stamp case. So let me know if you need those. If not, you could keep it in a Ziploc bag. That would work too. And you'll need to re-moisten it regularly. And you can rinse it out too, but it does have a coating in it. So it's not recommended to throw it in a washing machine or a dishwasher to get all the ink out of it. I find just running it under warm water for a length of time and squeezing it out, a lot of that ink goes away. And then what you're left with is the stained version. So this for the photopolymer is ideal. You just put this on the wet, it's just water. And then you stamp off a little bit to make sure that you've got it all clean. And it's clean, but stained. That's okay. We can live with that. You can also do the same with your red rubber. But over time, the red rubber does need some conditioning just to help keep it smooth and supple and working well. And that's where our Stampin' Scrub system comes in to play. So there's Stampin' Mist, which was our original cleaner that we've had for a really long time. It comes in a large refill bottle of 8 ounces or 237 milliliters. And that's sold like that. It also comes in a small pump. I've had my pumps for such a long time, which is a testament to the pumping system, to be perfectly honest, that I've covered them over the years with contact paper and such just to keep them going. So there is also another piece to this. You can purchase it either as a pump or as a refill that you'd fill it up. And then this is the Stampin' Scrub. And on this, you will see in the corner, there's a sunshine in one side and sort of a rain cloud in the other little corner there. And the idea of that is that one side would be wet, one side would be dry. These pads are exactly the same. So it really doesn't matter which end is wet. Over time. You'll work with it one day and then it'll dry out. And so it really doesn't matter that much. What I've always done, and it's what I learned from the demonstrator that I started stamping with, is wet to the window. So wherever the windows are in the room you're in, that's the side you make wet. Don't know why, we've just always done that. So wet to the window we go. My window's over on the left. So I'll just spritz a little bit of this onto the pad. Some people go ahead and spritz it right onto their stamp, which is okay, but I think that's a bit wasteful. You'll be going through a lot. Before you even start to put this on the Stampin' Scrub, and same with the chamois actually, go ahead and stamp off the ink as much as you can. This will mean that it'll be less that's left behind. So just on your scratch paper, go ahead and do that. And then rub this on the wet. You'll see it gets a little bit foamy looking. And then rub it on the dry side. And then it should be nice and clean and ready to put away. So I do find that I use my chamois a lot more since it's come out. But the Stampin' Scrub system really is very good for keeping these red rubber stamps that you've invested in great shape. So I'm going to tuck this guy back in here. And there we have it. That's how I clean my stamps, either with Stampin' Scrub, with the Stampin' Mist system, or with the chamois. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye now.